Thank you for joining us today. Today we will be discussing Microsoft Power BI, same subject we've covered for the past 3 sessions this month. This is the final of 4 sessions that has been focusing on Power BI. Today we will cover as much as possible. However, our primary focus is going to be Power BI miscellaneous features. Some things that we haven't covered already that may be of interest or importance to you. So we will go ahead and try to cover that information, show you a couple neat tricks, features, and functionality within both Power BI, the web version, as well as desktop version. But before we begin, let's go over the sponsor and provider of the and give you a variety of technical expertise and certifications. Opal is also a Silver Enterprise Partner and CSP with Microsoft. Opal prides themselves on striving hard to serve as an extension of your team, helping you to design and deliver technology solutions to help you anticipate and overcome your business challenges. With 2 offices on the East Coast, Opal provides quick and reliable products and services throughout the United States. Opal is able to provide one stop for your technology needs. Whether looking for enterprise level hardware, SMB equipment, or even certified pre-owned, Opal can provide the equipment to meet your needs for your business today and as it continues to grow into the future. Opal also provides CSP licensing on any Microsoft application while also customizing any software to meet your needs, whether the software includes Microsoft applications or your own custom application that maybe you need further assistance with. Finally, Opal's network services team provides the expertise and knowledge to design, upgrade, and support your entire infrastructure. With Opal's team monitoring and maintaining your network, you will have the latest security protection and meet the most industry-verified compliances and regulatory standards available today. My name is Jay Hess, Vice President of Opal Business Solutions, and I'm here to discuss more about Microsoft Power BI. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and jump into Power BI itself, as I mentioned, both online and the desktop version, so that we can show you some of those features that we haven't had a chance to discuss over the past 3 weeks. Depending on the amount of questions, I'm not sure how long this will take, but we'll see. And please remember to use the chat box to the bottom right hand side of your screen, and you can send questions throughout, and at the end we'll have a chance to answer any of those questions that haven't been addressed. All right, the first area to discuss within Power BI is it may seem like it's not that strong or that big of a deal, but in reality, it's really rather strong. So I have logged into Power BI through the web version. And one of the things that I want to discuss is the ability to print the information that you're viewing. So in other words, we discussed how you can share this information and share it through different web features and websites and so forth. But what if you wanted to print it out into a nice formal presentation as part of another document and add to it and put it in? Well, for one of your meetings. The simplest approach to do that, as you can see, I'm looking at everything here. From your browser, you can go up and click on the 3 dots or find print, depending on the type of browser you're using, and go ahead and select print. when you go ahead and select print, it's just like any other document and so forth. It's going to go ahead and allow you to, print to whatever you're looking for, determine your orientation. And the nice thing about this, as you're doing that, what you're going to notice is you're only printing your dashboard or your charts. You're not printing any of the filters and everything else that may appear on the screen. And that was really the functionality I wanted to show you, was you can manipulate this information as much as you want, have that up there, and get it laid out and go ahead and print it. So now you don't have to work within Excel anymore to create charts, graphs, and so forth for meetings or reports that you're trying to generate for people. You can do it right from within here. Now that does not mean that you still can't export data. So, we talked about being able to see your fields over here and dropping and dragging the fields into appropriate, values within a report. So if we wanted to look at this pie chart and pull in the values for this year's sales or last year's sales, whatever it might be, and we grab it and pull it in. But we can also go into each one of these specific reports that we've added to the dashboard or charts and graphs, select more options, and you'll notice that you'll be able to export the data. So if you go ahead and say you want to export that data, you'll get a pop-up. Do you want it to be summarized? Do you want the underlying data? Also, do you want it in CSV or Excel format? Just depends on what you're looking to do. So basically, you're exporting this data with all the applied filters that you've put on it so that you can go ahead and maybe work with it in Excel if that's what your goal was, or however you'd like to do that. So maybe you can get some of the data, and now your particular job revolves around total sales variances by fiscal month, and now you have to analyze that. Well, you can quickly come in, export that data, put it into Excel, and if you want to go ahead and you're more familiar with Excel, you can manipulate it there, import it back in as another data source. Just depends on what you're looking to do. Some of the other features and functionality that are available within Power BI these days is the ability to go ahead and integrate these charts and graphs into other applications. For instance, SharePoint. There are some third-party tools out there that you can get from the marketplace, and we'll touch upon the marketplace here in a little bit, but you can get different third-party applications. If you have a development team on staff, you can go ahead and use different interfaces to develop custom integrations on how you'd like to tie it into different applications. But the ability is there to tie it into things like SharePoint, as well as we have within Teams. So you can see here, we have within Teams, we have different groups and so forth that we've created. And one of them is an executive team group. It has some reports and so forth that are available, but this is all done within, this isn't actually live data here, but you can see it's some data, but this is within Power BI. And we can see our agreements and see how many hours are still left on different agreements and so forth. So there are just different ways that you can pull the information out of Power BI and not have to worry about utilizing websites and so forth to display them. You can grab that information and put it into things like SharePoint and Teams to share with others within your organization. I talked a little bit about getting to integrate this within SharePoint, and in order to do so, you may want to utilize third-party tools or some of the other third-party applications that are available. And to view those, you have to go to the marketplace, and we're just going to touch upon the marketplace for a brief moment here. So as you can see, I'm in the Microsoft Marketplace, and there's different ways to get to this from within Power BI, from within the website, just going through, appsource.microsoft.com, and then you can run some filters to see what information you're looking for. Here, I got a filter on Power BI visuals and different add-ins. And, here I can see that I can get different ways to visualize the data within Power BI. One of the neat ones that I've played with before and I've downloaded and I've utilized is the word cloud. And word cloud, basically it will take different information, content, and so forth, and display it on the screen, as you can see here, utilizing different grids, so forth. The nice thing about being able to come into the marketplace is you can see reviews, you can see the stars. If you're not sure about it and you want to come back to it, you can save it for later. Or you can watch videos on how it works, how it interacts within Power BI. I can show you a quick video here and just kind of walk you through so you can see that some of them have a nice little presentation, and you can see here that how it takes the information, displays it in. So it's nice and easy for you to get a better understanding and a full comprehension of what these do. If we go back, some of the other ones, that I know I've utilized before, I've used the spline chart. I've also used the infographic designer, so you can easy to create infographics if you wanted to see. So you can use, if you're in the wine business, you can use bottles. IT, you may be looking to use laptops, cell phones, different things like that. So it's nice and easy to be able to come in and utilize tools that are already been built. One of the things I believe in is, why reinvent the wheel if somebody's already done it for you? The best part about a lot of these things that I've already shown you is over here. They're free. They've been tested, they work, they use, they tell you what version, when it's last updated, and it doesn't cost you a thing. I've gone ahead and I've downloaded a couple of these for use within the instance that I have out here, so we can just quickly see how things can change. One of the ones here that we can just, touch upon, it's not going to be set up entirely, but I can show you, is if I go from the pie chart, I can go over to a gauge, a dial gauge, and I just click on it and you can see here. So you can see, like I said, the data is not set up for it. I need to manipulate the data a little bit, and I can do that over here by choosing my values, my goals, and putting them in the target start, the actual start, so that I could see a range of things and where we are. So if I wanted to, so we see a total units, the goals, and so forth, I could pull those into the appropriate values and get a better gauge as to where we are. But I just wanted to show you the view. The other one that I think is pretty cool is you can have some fun with this, and people wouldn't even know that you're displaying reports. And what I mean by that is you can put this on a big monitor in a hallway or in a conference room, and clients are coming in, coming by, walking by, and they see something on the screen and they'll have no idea that it's even a chart and displaying information. So this isn't necessarily a good set of data to use, but it's a ton of data, and that's what I wanted to get across, because we can utilize this one here, Enlighten Aquarium, and watch the data change. Imagine seeing this on a big screen. Somebody comes in with the appropriate data set and they just see fish swimming around. They have no idea that behind all of this is each one of our locations and their sales. How many sales? The dollar amount of those sales. Are they big? Are they little? How do they relate to everybody else? I mean, we could even see little teeny tiny ones in here and so forth that we can touch upon. So it's amazing how you can find different things, have some fun with it, put this up in a conference room or something like that. So if you're maybe you're a pet store, this is a great way to have some fun with it within your organization. One of the other things I wanted to touch upon is the ability to make some data changes to your data and show you how simple it is to do that. For that, I'm going to go to the Power BI desktop. And within the Power BI desktop, we're going to go ahead and we need to get some data in order to work with that. I've worked with this data set before in the past. So if we go ahead and get data, I'm just going to go ahead and gather data from a website. And in one of the previous sessions, I've used this. NFL draft coming up. I'm curious what Pittsburgh Steelers are doing, who they're most likely going to take. So I'm going to go ahead, select that data set directly from a website, from a URL link. And it's going to go ahead, connect to that website so that it can pull back the data. So eatdrinkandsleepfootball.com. And if we expand that out, we're going to go ahead, and I know the data is located in table 0. So if I just take a quick look at that and say, yep, that's the one I want, I can check it. Now, in the past, we've just loaded it, started to work with it. But one of the things I want to do is be able to edit that information. So if I go ahead and select edit, what it's going to do is it's going to pop up a couple different screens. We're going to see some information come in, and it's starting to transfer the information into an editable format for me. Now, we've talked about Power Query, and that's something a little more advanced, and you either want to get a Microsoft partner like Opal Business Solutions, or to give you training, or to do the work for you. But I wanted to show you how easy it is to make some changes. So as we're looking, I don't really want to pull this data in, see it on a chart, and not have anything listed where there's nulls. So I can just go ahead, highlight a column if I'd like, or a particular row, whatever the data set that I want to work with is. So I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the second pick. And on the second pick, I'm going to come up here and choose Replace Values. And what it's going to allow me to do is it's going to allow me to find a value like you would in Excel. So I want to find the null, and I want to replace it with, let's call it no draft projection. We didn't say given, that's fine. And there are some advanced options you can go ahead and utilize, match entire cell contents, replacing, using special characters and so forth. But I think this is going to do what I want. So if I go ahead and hit OK, there we go. We can see that in a matter of seconds it replaced the nulls. Now I have some no draft projection given, and I can go ahead, apply that. And when I apply that, that's the information I'm going to be able to work with now. I won't have nulls in the values. I won't have nulls to be working with. So that information is out there. So with that said, I'd like to just jump back in here into the presentation and just summarize what we talked about over the last 4 sessions. We learned about Power BI, what it is, and how it can help your business succeed. We also discussed how to connect to different data sources. We showed you how to display some of the data. And finally, we touched upon some of the miscellaneous items that we did today, like the marketplace, printing, integration with SharePoint, Teams, and other applications. And finally, we also showed you how to clean up data. And hopefully this series on Power BI has provided you with the opportunity to see what Power BI is, how it can help you, and how it is just the tip of the iceberg and how powerful it can be. At this time, I'd like to see if there were any questions that were presented throughout the presentation. And if there are, and I have not addressed those, I'll be glad to read those now and answer those. So I'm going to just take a look at the chat box that was to the right. All right. At this time, I don't see any questions that have been asked or need addressed still. So, I would like to just go ahead. Thank you for your time. Remember to look for our monthly newsletter that's sent the fourth week of the month, as well as our Microsoft email sent the first week of the month, in order to keep updated on the latest tips, features, and functionality provided by Microsoft applications. Thank you, and please remember to look for this video as well as other videos on the Opal YouTube channel. Thank you again, and have yourself a great day.